I want you to show your love tonight for our partners in crime. Doing our thing. Third Floor Radio. Make some noise for my sister, Roslynn.
So people ask me all the time, what do I do? And it's so hard to explain because I do so many things. And I actually like the mysterious fact of nobody really knowing exactly what I do. But to detail it, there's three main factors in my career. So I'm an entrepreneur, so I help launch, market, and sell companies like MySpace.com and MyDivio. I'm also a marketing advisor for brands and companies, helping them connect to artists and influencers. And lastly, I'm a dot connector, so I help individuals as well as nonprofit organizations, groups, help connect to one another or resources to help accomplish their goals. My purpose is to create memorable experiences so people feel understood and recognized so that they would pay it forward and help others.
I have a special group for you.
I'm Roslynn Alba Cobarrubias, and this is My 24 by 24. As soon as I wake up, it's probably about 7 a.m. on a good day, and then I lay in bed for an extra 30 minutes and I meditate. And for some people, meditating is like sitting in a position in a yoga studio. Some people, they go outside. My meditation is literally laying in bed, and then I start to think, okay, how was yesterday? What am I grateful for? I got to spend time with my mom. Had a good hair day. Even the small things down to the big things. A good day is when I get to see my family. So I visit Walnut maybe once a week or once every other week. So I see my family, whether it's one of my nieces, whether it's visiting my mom to pick up food because she always texts us, hey, I made caldereta, I made pancit, I made sinigang. And it's kind of her way of bringing us together because she knows, I work a lot, so I don't really get a lot of home cooked meals.
A rebel before. Roslynn is always political, opinionated, but she's very independent, even at a young age. And she's a straight A student from kindergarten to college. She never paid anything for her college. She did it on her own. She loves to attend all those boring seminars. To me, it's boring. But to her, it's like motivational for her. So that's how she developed that thing. She loves music for sure. She's successful in her own field. She's a very loving person. And she always thinks of family first. And she's always there for me.
Younger, we were close, but we didn't realize that we were close. We were close because we were forced to be in the room. My mom, she was a very successful businesswoman. For 30 years, she owned her own farmer's insurance agency. Well, the first car she got was a Mercedes 2-seater. She still has it. And she has 4 daughters. And so all 5 of us would pack up in that 2-seater car. And we would go to church together. And we kind of grew up our lives raising one another because my mom was always working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. My relationship with my mom and my sisters is very unique. We're all on a group chat together. So we'll talk about great things that happen, such as, my niece starting school, and then we'll talk about challenges. Throughout the day, we're sending memes, we're sending food, we're sending ideas, we're sending events throughout the day. So we're always in constant communication. So by the time we see each other, nothing has left. I was born in Los Angeles, and then we moved to Roland Heights. But Walnut is really what's home to me. I started here in junior high at South Point Middle School, and then I transferred to Suzanne Middle School, and then went to Walnut High School. What I love about Walnut is that it has a homely vibe to it. I've lived in different places from Hollywood to downtown LA to Beverly Hills, but it doesn't have this community feeling that Walnut does. So we're here in the New York Pizzeria in Walnut, and it smells exactly the same that I remembered it back then. And again, a lot of our friends would just come here together. We would have probably like $1 each and buy a slice and spend like the entire day here, Saturdays and Sundays. And we'd also come here after school. They have different games than they did now, but this was like the main Street Fighter machine. So imagine there's just a line of people lined up. Studying at Walnut High School was awesome. So I was really a tomboy in high school. I used to dress like TLC, you know, really big clothes, overalls, Janko jeans, and I was really into underground hip hop. So much that I became a DJ since elementary school, just playing music at lunch. I was the lunchtime DJ, bringing out the speakers, playing music. I DJ'd the dances. We would go to hip hop clubs on the weekend with fake IDs and go see people like Nas or Wu-Tang Clan, The Far Side. And it really gave me that inspiration of the career that I wanted to choose. And it all started at Walnut High School. I'm constantly moving and constantly having meetings. I don't really like being in the office because I feel like a lot of my job is face-to-face and in person and building relationships. I have to schedule different meetings throughout the whole city as well as traveling. So every day, I already know on my calendar what I'm planned to do. Hey guys, we're here at MVA Studios. I have a couple meetings today. We're planning LA Clippers Filipino Heritage Night with Apple the App of the Black Eyed Peas and Jasmine Villegas, as well as a shoot with Hugh Plus. Come inside, take a look. Some of my biggest challenges coming up and wanting to do entertainment in a male-dominated industry was just, number one, there wasn't a lot of opportunity. And once I did get the opportunity, especially when I was in leadership positions, because I'm a triple minority, I'm 4'11", I'm Filipino, and I'm a woman. When I walk into the room, people think I'm the intern. So there's a lot of the times that until I spoke, there wasn't that respect given. And that's always a challenge when it comes to any industry, whether I work in marketing or whether I work specifically in the music industry. It's even harder in the music industry. Because I was a director of marketing of a networking organization called the National Association of Record Industry Professionals, we would produce workshops, panels, and conferences for people in the music industry, as well as startups. So I met Krista Wolf and Tom Anderson, who are the founders of MySpace, at one of these networking organizations, and they asked me for ideas to tap into the music industry because they had created a new platform that was differentiating themselves from Friendster. That was the only social network at the time. And so I created a list of ideas and strategic ideas that I used specifically on the radio show, whether it was producing concerts with artists. We launched MySpace.com, but I was 24 years old. I was a consultant. I didn't ask for things about equity. I was just happy to have a job. As I worked there for years, close to 9.5 years, the company got sold twice. I thought about all the job offers I'd gotten for other music companies, and I realized if I would go to those companies, again, I would work for those companies. I would provide all my talent relations, marketing support, etc., to get people excited about an app or a site or something like that, and I didn't own it. And then again, there'd probably be a potential big payout, and then I wouldn't be a part of that process. And I thought, I'm going to create something unique. I'm going to take the jump, and that's when I launched my own company. We created MyDivio in 2015, created the first online profile. People were scared to create online profiles. I would go to record labels or artists and it's too personal, I can't. And this was before Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Even my friends, they were reluctant to create online profiles, but eventually they did. And now it's weird if you don't have an online profile. Once we sold, MyDivio was an accomplishment because it was proof that it could be done. We work with a lot of brands, so I shoot a lot of content specifically for brands, whether it's a commercial or if it's planning an event. The most important tip to grow your Instagram is to stay engaged. Because Instagram uses an algorithm and they don't post your post chronologically, it's important to interact with the people that like, comment, and share your post. Otherwise, Those without likes, comments, and shares will go to the bottom of the feed. So the more that you interact with people, the more that you like and you comment back, then the higher that'll appear in other people's feeds. As well as when you're visiting your friends' pages, the more that you like and comment, they'll visit your page to interact with you. And if you get somebody with over 100,000 followers to like or share or comment on your post, you could wind up on the Explore page, reaching millions of people you've never reached before. And number 2, consistency is key. They say people that post 2 to 3 times a day are the ones with the most followers, but I would recommend at least 1 time a day. And you can go into your insights and see what time of day and what day of the week more people are engaging with your content and post at that time. If you're somebody like me that's constantly on the go, it's great to use a program like Hootsuite, where you can pre-write your captions about what you're going to do, so by the time you get your photo or your video from your event, you can plug it into Hootsuite and it can schedule at that exact time that you know most people are engaging with your content. Number 3, utilize video. I'm constantly posting on IG stories as well as video, and I edit my own videos just because I know that more people are engaging with videos than they are with photos. They're more likely to share a video than they are to a photo. And it gives you the opportunity to tag a restaurant, a location, and the people in the video so they can also share it as well. Number 4, tagging. And I don't mean the graffiti. I mean tagging your friends in your photo is great, but it's important to tag locations, it's important to tag brands, because they're more likely to also share that content in their feed. And who knows, you might get a brand interested in working with you just because you're tagging them. And that's really important in Instagram stories because they now have the functionality to easily add your story to their story. So if you tag a brand like Nike and they share your post on the Nike platform, imagine how many people are going to see it. So remember that next time when you're tagging. Don't just tag your friends, but make sure you also tag their friends so they can see the content. And lastly, understand and use hashtags wisely. As Justin Timberlake said, hashtag this, hashtag this, hashtag this. That's not the way to use it. Instagram allows you to use up to 30 hashtags. So you can grow your Instagram following organically just through the use of hashtags alongside like-minded people who might have the same interest utilizing that hashtag as well. So I hope to see you on Instagram. Make sure you follow me at Roslynn C, ROSLYNNC. Hashtag blessed. It was so fun to take you along over this ride with me for 24 hours. So you saw my day with my family, you saw me at work, and now we're ending it with my family and friends here at this Third Floor Radio Anniversary in Long Beach. We're gonna see some of my favorite DJs, JP and Shershot, who I started the radio show with, DJ Icy Ice, Remark, and Orion, and we have a very special guest, the Far Side, the legendary Far Side, one of the best hip-hop groups of the 90s, and tonight is be the best of 90s R&B and hip-hop that you can't hear anywhere else. And that's what we used to play on the radio show, so come join us and listen.
We're all so busy, and Roz is like the person that just glues us all together and brings us back to the center. We could go months without seeing each other because we all have crazy lives. But she hosts an event like this and all of us make the effort to come.
So many years, ups and downs, and regardless, she has always shown, no matter what, as stated earlier, like she comes through no matter what. She'll take an earlier flight to be there for any event, whether it's for a birthday party or for a dinner or just for whatever. And so she's just a major, huge part of our lives. We've all come together. I feel like us girls, we're very independent, and we're all we push each other. We make each other stronger, and that's what's important. And we're always here for each other, no matter what.
And so the Far Side, who doesn't want to see the Far Side?
I know, right? Who doesn't?
So I've had the same girlfriends for 25 years. There's 13 of us. What I love about the Walnut Girls is that no matter how crazy this world gets, and especially Hollywood could get crazy, and there's a lot of people that come in and out of your lives that aren't genuine, I know that I'll always have a group of genuine girlfriends. So to be honest, I didn't always have work-life balance. You know, as soon as I finished college, because I was trying to prove to my mom that I could have a career in the music industry because she wanted me to get into law, I was gung-ho 24/7 all about my career. So I really didn't spend time with a lot of friends, a lot of family. I missed birthdays. I was constantly traveling. I was constantly working until eventually I had a breakdown. I had a panic attack and my body just caught up to me. And years had passed and I realized my niece was now 9 years old. And I had missed so many birthdays and I had missed so many events. And I took a break literally for 3 months and didn't leave the house just because I was nervous to have another panic attack in front of people. I was so independent my whole life for somebody to ask me, "What's wrong with you? Are you okay?" I was so nervous of that. So when that happened, I realized how much time had passed just focused on trying to chase my career, trying to, you know, accomplish these goals for these companies, but these companies weren't necessarily taking care of me. So now that I have the financial freedom of time, I make sure to have a life balance. So I've had the same girlfriends for 25 years. There's 13 of us. One of them lives out of the country, but as much as we can, we get together. We sit around the table and we talk about what's the best thing that has happened to you since we last saw each other. And we do like announcements. And we also celebrate our yearly annual Thanksgiving together. This year's our 25th anniversary of our Thanksgiving. The Walnut Girls were a group of girls we met when we were 13 years old at Suzanne Middle School. And before I met them, I went to South Point Middle School, and they were some of the coolest girls. We didn't really have a name, the Walnut Girls. That actually grew over time because what we would do is we would constantly go to these flyer parties in different cities, you know. And I was always the tomboy, the B girl, like dancing in the circles. I was even sometimes trying to freestyle rap in the ciphers with the guys. But we would go to all these different parties, and then there was such a big group of us, and we would come in like a couple cars. I had a Nissan Pathfinder. My friend Jonas, she had a 4Runner, so we'd pack our cars, and then, you know, people would say, "Oh, there's the Walnut Girls," because we're from Walnut.
So my weekly win is last time since I've seen the girls, we went to Cabo, and that was something super fun. And my story about Roslynn is when we were in high school, me and Roslynn had SUVs, and we would load up all the girls and go to all these flyer parties, and we would call ourselves Badass, but with a PH. So it was really cool.
And Giselle would perform at places like St. Dennis Church, and we would go watch her perform. Or your Kentucky, and we all didn't we perform? We're so good.
What's something else?
So my announcement is, I finally got my citizenship. After 32 years of my life. So now I can actually stand in line with you guys at the airport. I could be in the same line. Yes, and I just recently opened my new office in Pasadena. So. Cheers to that. Where's my drink? Yeah, and I've known Roz actually the longest from all the girls sitting here. Yes, so she was the very first person that I had met when I first moved to Walnut. So,
And our clothes are like 10 times bigger. Okay, my announcement is, so I had my rehearsal this week for my oral defense, and I'm gonna...
Oral defense?
For my dissertation. So I defend, not that oral. So I have to defend, I'm defending my dissertation on Monday. So I just did my rehearsal, everything went really well, so I'm ready to go and I'm done with school, done. So I'm gonna have my doctorate in nursing, and I'll have my NP, so yay, yes. My best memory of Roz is back in, I don't know if it was junior high or high school. We all got drunk at Teresa's house. She was drunk off Strawberry Hill. We threw her in the bathtub. Yes! Poured her, put the shower on and drenched her to sober her up, and she was just crying and crying in the bathtub, and we were laughing her ass off.
White t-shirt.
White t-shirt even. Best
And the story stops there.
Yeah.
But my announcement is Isaiah's taking the kids to school.
Yes! That's the best.
So I don't have to do kid drop-offs anymore. He does everything for
That's
me.
a major win.
So I'm like super proud because he's really stepped up and like helped me out.
And he also graduated.
Yes. College, working, and taking care of his brothers. And kind of alleviating me from all the responsibilities. So announcement, win, cheers.
Okay, so my announcement is that I didn't gain any weight for Thanksgiving. Like, I mean, that's a win for me. I mean, seriously. So, like, not gain any weight throughout, like, the freaking 4 days. And then Jacob just had his IEP, and even though he's still in special needs, he will be transitioning to general ed math. So that's cool. So yeah, so he's really smart in math. So that I was like really proud of that. And then so that's a huge announcement for me. And then my fondest memory of Roz. I actually have a couple, but Roz was always the, make things happen. Like when there's a will, there's a way. If I win, you win. If I eat, you eat. So my biggest memory is that she always took me on her vacations when she was starting up MySpace. And she would always make up these roles for me. Like I was the cameraman. I was the sound girl. And we went to Miami. She took me to Miami for the first time. And we freaking just partied all night. She took me to Hawaii for the first time when I was 17 years old. I haven't been back to Hawaii since then. And Roz took me to Hawaii with her family, and we stayed at the Hawaiian Hilton Village. So I mean, she is like the professional life liver, and so I'm so thankful that she has included me in a lot of her successes.
So my announcement, ladies, I got a promotion at work. Yay! Obviously, I love the fitness industry. I had another opportunity with another company to move on, but I decided to stay, and the CEO gave me a promotion, and so that's where I'm at. So that's like one win. The second, because it's just like not all about me. So the other, it's never about you. That's not just all about me. The other thing, obviously, you all. You all saw my story. So Kira got Student of the Season 4 years in a row. Wow. Yes. So proud, obviously super proud mama, and I'm super happy. My fondest memory of Roz, Pathfinder days for sure. I remember when we were in middle school, and Roz came up to me in her baggy jeans, and she was like, oh, like who's like the friends, like who hangs out? And I'm like, oh my god, like hang out with us, because she came from another middle school, obviously, and I think South Point. She came to Suzanne, and we obviously hit it off from there, and then from there we become obviously lifelong friends. You are my biggest supporter, so this isn't even like a memory, this is like from Suzanne to now. You are my biggest supporter. We're Pisces sisters, we support each other, we're super ambitious, and I feel like every single time like we're climbing the ladder in life, you're always there to support me and push me and motivate me, and for that I 100% thank you.
For real. My announcement is now, before I came here, this is actually the 2 weekends in a row I get to go out with my girlfriends, and my kids even called me out, like, hey, you're going out again? And I'm like, yes, I'm going out again. And they're like, why? I'm like, why not? And I mean, that's kind of a big deal. If you know me, like 2 weekends in a row out without my kids is a really big deal. And my best memory for Roz is when she used to work for MySpace. I just came back from the Philippines for like a month, and she's like, hey, you want to go to London? I was like, what? I just got home. She's like, no, come on, let's go. I'm going out there for work. Just go with me. And I'm like, okay. So So she got me all hyped up to go, and then right before we were gonna go, she was getting anxious about the flight. And she was making me anxious about the flight. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do to her? She's like so anxious. I was like, oh, I had this great idea, right? I was like, let's both take some NyQuil so we could just sleep through the flight. But the problem was when we got to London, we were still sleeping. And then we went to go exchange money and we were still sleeping. And then we got in the cab and we were still sleeping. And finally we got to the place, we paid the cab guy, and like we ended up paying him like $200 for like a $50 like cab ride because we were like half asleep.
And we didn't know the exchange rate.
No, we didn't. We were just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. And we're like, wait a minute, I gave him all my money. She's like, no, I gave him all mine. I was like, no, all my cash is gone. I was like, we just gave him $200 for this like cab ride. Anyways, it got better from there. We learned the exchange rate, and we had some good times in London.
Well, you guys all know that I don't work anymore, so I'm retired, and I am officially a room mom. So I've been asked to plan parties, coordinate field trips. So besides being a room mom, I'm also volunteering. I am volunteering at this organization called Beach Cities, which is preventative care for kids, adults, and the elderly. So I'll be working with kids. I'll be a nutrition docent and a gardening docent, as well as a brain buddy for the elderly, senior citizens, and disabled. And my memory of Roz goes back to the Pathfinder days again, when no one had our license, no one had our licenses, and we snuck out of the house. She picked me up in her Pathfinder. A cop was following us for a while, and we were so scared, freaking out, just like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? He starts his intercom and he says, turn your lights on. Oh, we were driving?
I know, we were just driving.
Yes.
But that's all we had to do. We didn't get a ticket, we were fine. So we were able to sneak out, we had a good time. And I also, Roz, she did take me on my first trip to Hawaii, like Amy, when I was 14. I've never been to Hawaii until Roz. And we went on so many trips to San Diego with a group of like, I don't know. Yeah, Cabo. We went to so many places, and I want to thank you, Roz, for showing me that travel is great, and I love you.
My announcement is finally, I think I told Maud already that I now have the financial freedom of time to do what I want. So I'm leaving my company and I'm starting a new marketing company, and that's going to start officially January 2019. So finally, where I could just wake up and do whatever I want. So I could drive to Walnut twice a week. I mean, what's amazing about these girls is that they took the time to come here. Everyone's busy in their own right. But I think the most memorable moment that I have is 25 years ago when we started our Thanksgiving. We all wanted to go out, but we couldn't. So we're like, what do we do? And so we started an annual tradition of getting together for Thanksgiving, not knowingly how, as we got older, how important that would be to our lives, because we've been through everything. We've been through that first dinner when we couldn't go out. We've been through junior high school when we were trying to figure each other out, when we became women because we didn't even know we were women in junior high, to going to college, to losing two of our best friends that are here, to college, to marriage, to divorce, to 23 kids. And sometimes we don't take the time to realize how special that is. And I always tell people that you guys are my best friends. And you're my best friends not because necessarily we see each other every day, but because you're the best people in my life, that whenever we come together, it just reminds us of how unique this is. We can go through crazy stuff at work, but this moment, just being here and like being able to make fun of each other, it's like, you know, we still don't know even what each other does in our career professions. like, we don't even talk to Imagine if we all worked together, we would probably be millionaires. But I mean, just this one has a PhD, like, you know, we just go there, like, it's crazy. And I just thank you guys. And I know some of the girls couldn't be here because of birthday, but it means so much to be here because
I'm just so grateful for this experience that even they would want to even document something like this. And they're like, let's go to your office, let's go to all these meetings. And I'm like, no, we're gonna shoot in Walnut at my mom's house. We're gonna go around Walnut, and they're like, what are the top spots to go in Walnut? I'm like, New York Pizzeria, Buns, Suzanne. Oh, I should have went to Donut Tree. But like, just for taking the time to be here. You're all really busy, so from the bottom of my heart, I just appreciate it. And I think as we get older, our kids are gonna continue to get together, even when we're beyond in this thing. So I love being a part of your lives. I'm excited to be able to spend more time with everybody now that I can have a little bit of freedom on schedule and stuff like that. We appreciate you. So with that, now let's freaking drink, and these guys are good. Cheers!
What I love about the Walnut Girls is that no matter how crazy this world gets, and especially Hollywood could get crazy, and there's a lot of people that come in and out of your lives that aren't genuine, I know that I'll always have a group of genuine girlfriends. They'll treat me the same. Walnut, California 91789 is the city that I grew up and I call home, even though it wasn't my birthplace. It's the place where I can connect easily to family and friends and discharge from the rest of the world and feel at peace again. When the world gets chaotic, it's the healing power or that stress reliever that's always there for you, with a home-cooked meal, with a smile, with a naiveness to a kid just enjoying their day. That's Walnut. When I look back in life, I think the best decision I ever made, and I realized why it happened, was to slow down. So having those panic attacks, going through that insecurity, you realize your biggest trials in your life is your biggest influence in the future. So now I can speak to people that are going through that because I went through that. So you don't take relationship advice from somebody that's been in a happy relationship for years, and you don't want to take advice on overcoming anxiety from somebody that never experienced it. So it's something that it's ongoing, and just slowing down and being able to tell other people to slow down, it's been the greatest thing. Secondly, making the decision to start my own company versus working for another company after a decade was another smart decision. I think that it gave me now, the financial freedom of time to just create my own schedule and to do multiple things.
Long Beach, put your hands up like this. Or even if you ain't from Long Beach.
I decided to do music in elementary school. I just really loved it. I love that feeling of, people coming together for music. I love the way it made people feel, whether it's making you feel happy or it's making you feel sad but understood in what you're going through. So in elementary school, when I started DJing at lunch and I would record the radio at lunch to play to my elementary school, it just gave me this feeling of excitement and purpose. Throughout junior high school, throughout high school, throughout college, I always felt that. So after going through that, and it was always a passion, I never thought it would be a career until the moment when I walked into the radio station and I took the radio broadcasting class, and I realized your passion could be your career. They don't tell you that when you're young. They tell you to make the most money and then you'll be happy. But when I spoke to an elementary school, I said, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? What do you love so much that you wish people could pay you to be? And this little boy said, happy. And I was like, genius.